Hello everyone, my name is Daniel. I'm 39 years old and I live in Pasto, Nariño. Okay, whenever someone asks me why I'm studying English, I don't just say to get a job or to pass a test. For me, the goal is something deeper. I want to reach a point where the language becomes invisible. There's a concept in language learning called transparent fluency. It's that magic moment when you stop thinking about past tense roles or word order and you just focus on the message. You aren't translating love, you are just feeling, aren't constructing an argument, you're just fighting for it. According to Lever and her colleagues, language is a tool. My purpose is to make that tool so sharp that I forget I am even holding it. The first hurdle is what researchers call proceduralization. In my head, I know the grammar. I know that after he comes she, but when I'm in a conversion, I freeze. I'm trying to recall the rule slowly, consciously, while the person waiting for my response is looking at me like hello. You can speak in real time if you are still reaching for the rulebook. You have to move from knowing that to knowing how. Gender is the emotional side. Speaking is a high risk. You feel exposed. You are afraid to sound stupid, but the raises you are affective feeler is the like a well that goes up in your brain. To actually push yourself to speak, to produce what linguistics call pushed output, you have to lower that anxiety. You have to give yourself permission to be imperfect. Finally, you need to strategic competence, fancy term, simple meaning. What do you do when you forget the word? Do you panic or do you talk around it? Circumlocution, you say the thing you used to open a lock because you forgot key, or you use a filler word actually just to buy yourself time. These aren't crutches; they are survival tools. So how do I know if I'm actually getting better? This used to keep me up night. You can't measure speaking like a multiple choice test. Spoken language slips away the second it leaves your mouth. You can't go back and look at it unless you capture it. So here is my secret. I record myself, just 1 minute, talking about one topic. I listen back and suddenly the strap becomes concrete. I heard exactly where I hesitate. I heard the exact second and crashed into a grammar mistake. I noticed, wow, I spoke fast there, but I made 3 errors, for example, or I spoke slower, but I was accurate. But the real magic isn't just listening after the fact. It's what happens during the conversation. The moment you hear yourself make an error, as you fix it immediately in the same sentence. The self-correction is gold. That is your internal editor waking up. And here is how I know the learning is working. It's not about how many words I know. It's about what I can do with them. Can I argue with a cashier who overcharges me? Can I describe the age of homesickness to a friend who doesn't speak my mother tongue? When the words translate into action, into feeling, that's not just progress, that's victory. This brings me to the big question. How do you make this last for life? Because let's be honest, motivation fades. The shiny news of I want to learn English wears off. The secret is becoming an autonomous learner. You stop waiting for a teacher to tell you what do you do. You manage yourself. I use SMART goals. Now I want to be fluent, but this week I will learn 5 ways to give an opinion without saying I think. I also pay attention to how I learn best. Am I a global learner? Do I need to be picture first? Or an analytic? Do I need to dissect every grammar role? If a test box isn't working, I throw it away. I don't force myself to learn the way another people tell me to. I also have my environment. I can't move to London tomorrow, obviously, but I can create an English only bubble. 30 minutes a day, for example, I narrate what I'm doing while cooking, or now I'm chopping the onion. This is going to burn. I listen to podcasts while folding laundry, maybe. I don't just consume English. I force myself to produce it, even it's just talking to myself. And finally, this is the part nobody tells you. You have to be flexible. Metacognition, thinking about your thinking. If you've been drilling for a scar for 3 months and you still can't understand Netflix shows, eh, change the method, watch the show, dish the cards. Lifelong learning isn't it about grinding every single day. It's about staying agile. It's about knowing when to push and when to pivot. Because the plateau isn't a failure of effort. It's a usually failure or strategy. So that's my approach. Is not perfect, I know, but intentional and hopefully a little more transparent every day. Thank you so much.